Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show, and welcome to Makeover Monday. It's Monday morning. You could start everything fresh, everything new, whatever you were last week. Had some failures and had some hiccups and got a little derailed. We're back on track. It's Monday, Kaustubha. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Mara, good morning to you, dear. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, thanks.
Except for the allergies.
Yeah, allergies are a little bothering me.
Mara needs a hug today.
Thanks, Raghu.
Well, I've got some miserable news for you. Can I share it?
Sure.
Let's start our Monday off with a bang.
It was Miserable Monday. Here we go.
Welcome to Miserable Monday. Okay, I got a text message. Guess from who?
Well, it made you miserable?
Yes.
It wasn't me, was it?
Don't say anything. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
Well, first of all, when I saw that they wrote me back, I lit up.
Okay.
Now, do you get it? Look at Mara.
Madhava's rock band.
Madhava's rock band wrote me back.
They
with
dumped,
a rejection
they dumped us.
letter.
They rejected
with
us.
a rejection text message. Oh, Prabhu! So many devotees are contacting us to do interviews. I'm sure you understand how overwhelmed and busy we are. And I was like, it was like getting a message from your, you write a fan mail to somebody.
It's like that Eminem thing.
It's like an Eminem song.
Raghunath starts to stalk them angrily.
Madhava's rock band rejected me.
Oh, that's rough.
They were, and of course, I go right to my default. Do you know who I am? Maybe I should clarify something.
Prabhu, we don't know who you are at all.
We don't.
have no idea.
You don't understand. We are so much bigger than you ever were. Ooh, I was on Joe Rogan, damn it.
Try again, Raghunath. It's just like when like Narottam Das Thakur wants to take initiation from Lokanath Goswami, and he's like, refused. You got to keep trying. I'll smash my head against the rock. I'll
never
into
try
the fire.
again. No, I'll never listen to another Madhava rock band video again. They're being replaced with GKD, Govinda Krishna Das. He's my newest.
Okay.
The heartthrob of Bengal.
Until he rejects you.
He will never reject me. Check out his YouTube channel, everybody. Govinda Krishna Das. He's the heartthrob. I call him the heartthrob of Bengal, but I don't think he's from Bengal.
I think he's from Delhi.
I think he's from the heartthrob from Delhi. Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I'm not even sure he's from Delhi.
He sort of looks like a Delhi Wali.
Yeah. All right, that was rough.
It was super rough, man. My ego is so massive.
You knew it was coming too. You even before you wrote to me, said, "Oh, they're going to reject me."
No, I didn't. No, you know what happened?
You said they're too big.
Well, I thought they wouldn't even write back.
Mara's like, that's right.
It was on WhatsApp. So I saw that they read it. I was like, oh, they read it. And then I throw a quick one in. I thought like, well, check out my Instagram account. Maybe you can get an idea of what we're. And that didn't impress them. My 40,000 followers didn't impress them. They've got like, I think they're into the big
Yeah,
numbers.
they got 9 million viewers of their videos. Raghu.
All right, how many followers do they have, Mara? Madhava's rock band.
I don't know.
I'm like obsessed with this. They only have 116,000. Come on, that's not that big. They do have
Apparently.
millions. Anyway,
Okay.
I still love them. I still love them. If they want to change their mind, I'll take
think-
it back.
I think you should try again. Try one more time.
Then I sound desperate.
Yeah, you are desperate.
Maybe I shouldn't have.
That's the
I was,
point.
I was such a fanboy. I was like, oh, we love what you do. You're doing such good work. Blah, blah, blah.
You are
I
desperate.
should
Don't
have
be
had
ashamed.
Justin proofread it first. I think I was too vulnerable. I should have been like, we do a very big podcast. I think it can help your careers.
All right.
We had Moby on the show. Come on.
Yeah, if they want to break into the Western audience, that's where
I did drop a little hint that we are all Americans and Europeans mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
matter.
impress them. They're like, who cares? We're the center of the universe. You're a bunch of chundals. No, they didn't say that. They're very
They're
respectful.
very nice and polite. And
So sweet. I like them. I understand you get busy. People get busy. We also got rejected by
why don't we just get the bass player?
let's
You
get
know?
that Bengali girl bass player. Well, I got an idea. Not an idea, but I'm just saying we were also rejected, and maybe people don't know this by what's her name? Remember
We
the
got
old
rejected? Chrissy Hind?
Chrissy Hines,
That one hurt.
the Pretenders. That one
Well,
hurt.
it wasn't a solid one. It was like, try us later. Okay, but we should go back now.
Let's go back now. It's later. Chrissy Hines. Let's get Chrissy Hines on the show.
Yeah.
She's an initiated devotee.
Yeah.
I want Boy George. I won't sleep until I get Boy George.
All right. Why don't I think we need to get to the Bhagavatam, and don't tell me this is Bhagavatam because it's not.
This is all Bhagavatam. Are you kidding? Because we're trying to get these people to glorify the Bhagavatam.
But we're failing.
Yeah, I
So
know.
we should do it then.
All right. All right, let's stop. Hey, we want to share that we are going to do a Wisdom of the Sages picnic. A picnic in Central Park?
Next Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday, what's the date on that? Is the 18th, I think it is?
Yeah. Should we have like a registration or should people just show up? What if we
I
go
think
there?
we should
just-
probably do a registration because, maybe
didn't
we're
even-
thinking of doing like potluck, but, maybe we can add a little something to it for everyone. Or something. I don't know.
we need
When we
to
do,
organize, right?
tomorrow we'll give you all the details on registration and all that, but
Yeah. Mara, can you go Sunday?
we got to have Mara there. She's like, I'm
What
working.
if she can't go?
Yeah,
What's
I
up
don't.
there?
I'm trying to go to Portland
Portland.
for a couple days with Mukunda Kishore and Govardhan
Oh.
for help with opening up
Oh.
Ben and Esther's in San Diego.
Oh,
I'm not
look
sure
at
if it'll
you.
happen yet, but those
Look
are
at you.
flying out on Sunday would be kind of the only window of time that I can do it.
So you're going to help them set up the vegan Jewish deli
Vegan Jewish deli.
Yeah.
in San Diego, in Portland? I thought they were doing.
Well,
it in
it'll
San
be
Diego.
in San Diego, but the location they have already is in Portland. So I think they want me to check that out.
Wow.
Mara, that's so cool.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Look at you,
Globetrotting
Mara.
around here.
Going out there to Portland.
Look at Rocco's
Got
jealous.
a whole secret life there. She has all these bhakti things going on without me knowing. All right, whatever. Who am I anyway?
the bird just
I'm just
flew out
getting
of the nest.
rejected everywhere. Why am I taking this personally?
Yeah,
I think it's
Mara's
great.
star is on the rise. Raghu's, it's going the other direction.
Oh, Krishna. All right, so what are we
All
gonna
right.
do? We gonna have this picnic without Mara? That's no good.
We'll have to.
All right, let's reconvene. Let's reconvene.
We'll
Let's have a meeting
reconvene
with Mara.
tomorrow. We'll have more details, and maybe we'll get Mara. Who knows? But we'll give the details on. We'll start as the week goes on. We'll have more details about exactly where in Central Park,
Okay.
and what to bring, and things like that.
All right, great. Let's read the Srimad Bhagavatam. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We did that already.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance and classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated in loving service to the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmadatam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual masters, my teachers, are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances to their lotus feet. All right.
All right. We got a new chapter today.
Oh, duh, I forgot.
What?
Forgot it's a new chapter.
Oh, you opened up the list.
Yeah, opened up the last one. Okay, great.
Okay.
What a name of a chapter. What a name of a chapter. Description of the kingdom of God. It's unbelievable.
Huh?
It's incredible.
You say
Powerful.
it sounds presumptuous to you or something like that? It sounds like too much.
No, it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Well, I think this is the first time we're like, well into the third canto, but I think this is the first time that we really get. We've been stuck in the material world the whole Bhagavatam up to this point. I think this is the first time we're going into the spiritual realm. So therefore, I think they're calling it the description of the kingdom of God, because it's the first time we're going to go there.
Alrighty.
We think that this is everything, right?
Yeah.
This is nothing, just a little speck, right? And now we're going to hear about what's beyond the actual reality, the spiritual realm. We're just stuck in the material realm. But this is the first time we're going into the. I think. Can you think of a time that we've read already where they went into the Vaikunthas? Or
No.
all right. So I think this is it.
All right, great.
But this is all in context. Let's share the context. So when creation was being described, it mentioned Lord Brahma's creation. It was mentioned that Vishnu manifested. The avatar of Vishnu, Varaha, came in the shape of a boar.
Mm.
So we want to hear more about that. Vidur wants to hear more about that. He's asking Maitreya more about that. And so we're hearing more about that, but we're going off on these side tangents. And the way that it's going off on the side tangents, because who does the Lord Boar, right, Varaha, he fights a demon named Hiranyaksha. And so we're hearing about the birth of those demons first.
Mm.
So that's why last chapter we heard about the pregnancy of Diti. We're going to hear a little bit more about that in this chapter. But it's going to go on because the who were they? Let's go back even further. Like, who's Hiranyaksha? Well, he took birth from Diti because of all these inauspicious circumstances. Okay, but who was Hiranyaksha in the previous birth? Well, we're going to hear about that in these next two chapters. And who was he? Raghu, hot seat,
Jai.
or Vijay, one of the two.
Or Vijay. Either Jai or Vijay, yes.
Yeah, they're like these guardians to the gates of the spiritual world.
Not
Or
ordinary
like-
people. You
Yeah.
can't get killed by Lord Vishnu and be ordinary. You
Yeah,
have to be
apparently.
quite extraordinary.
Yeah, what to speak of, to fight with him on this universal level, right? To have that honor, to spar with him, in a sense, right?
Everybody's got a backstory, Mara.
Yeah,
Right?
so this is the backstory of Hiranyaksha, which plays into the story of Varaha, the boar. And so we're going to hear that Brahma's going to say that my four sons, the four Kumaras, who we heard about briefly earlier, they were these little sage boys. They had the freedom to wander wherever they want, and they were going to wander into the spiritual world. But they got blocked at the gate. They get
checked.
cursed. Yeah, they get
Yeah.
checked. They get cursed by the four Kumaras, and one of them takes birth as Hiranyaksha. So it's all, these are tangents we're going off on, but these two chapters are fantastic. This chapter and the next chapter, because we're going to hear about the four Kumars. We're going to hear about how the depth of their spiritual realization, how it went still deeper, right? How they were like these practically like liberated beings, but they didn't have a personal connection to Vishnu, and then how that becomes established. Really fascinating stuff. It's just beautiful chapters coming up.
Well, let's dip into it.
Okay. Let's see how far we get today.
This is text one. Srimacharya said, my dear Vidura, Diti, the wife of the sage Kashyapa, could understand that the sons within her womb would be a cause of the disturbance to the demigods. That stinks that she already knew it.
Well,
It's hard to like be happy about your pregnancy if you know you're birthing demons.
yeah, so she's going to kind of do something about it. She's going to try to resist it as much as possible.
As such, she continuously bore the powerful semen of Kashyapa, which was meant to give trouble to others for 100 years.
Now, you know what this makes me immediately think of? It was yesterday's interview.
Yeah, me too. That was pretty good.
I
If you
thought it
missed
was
yesterday's
one of the
interview, you got to
best
go back
yeah.
and check it out. You got to just sit still and listen.
Yeah. Because what was the word that he used? Universalism. What was it again? Do you know, Mara? You remember?
Uniformitarianism?
Uniformitarianism? Or,
It's like,
whoa.
what?
Yeah.
What
So in other
is-
words, this assumption that we have that the laws that that kind of govern the realm that we are currently in are the same everywhere, universally, right?
Hmm.
So like when you hear, well, like a woman can't do that. Like a woman can't just like put a pause on her pregnancy. Well, apparently
Or
Diti
can
could,
they?
right? Just
Yeah.
in the world that we're familiar with, they can't, but here, here they could. You know, it was in reference to that. I read something recently where Srila Prabhupada was speaking with his disciples, and they were talking about like, it said, like there's a sun god, right? He lives in the sun, right?
Yeah.
And of course, well, how can anyone live in the sun? The conditions for life aren't right there, And what Prabhupada said, he just said it like just so simply, almost matter of fact, like, well, here on Earth, the Earth is made up of earth and water, and our bodies are made of earth and water. And there, the atmosphere is fiery, and the bodies are fiery.
Makes
It's
sense.
just
I
like-
get it.
It's
I
just
believe.
simple.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's
I
simple.
believe
right?
it. Could be.
Yeah, so you got to expand a little bit. So we're hearing about something that sounds miraculous, fantastic, unbelievable, incredible.
The
Well,
spiritual
just expand.
scientist, yes, the spiritual scientist yesterday made all the most fantastic things seem completely normal.
I know. It
How
was
about
like,
when I was like the snake? He's like, yes, it's a snake government. It's a snake. Of course, if you're a snake, you want to go where other snakes are.
it's
I was like,
simple.
of course you do. But why would you be here if you want a snake body?
That's right.
I was like, I believed anything he said.
He made it like he made it like, which is real clear reasoning. He made it seem like, well, you're irrational if you can't accommodate this kind of thought.
Yeah, I know.
At least the possibility of it.
And what was his number? He graduated what number in his class? Out of
No,
like,
it was #1 in Maharashtra is like huge. It's like
at Bombay is Maharashtra.
just Bombay is like huge, and it's just one city in Maharashtra.
He was number one. I missed that.
What is it? The GRE, General something or other. Mara's got it.
Mara got it. What was your
It's a
ranking?
GREs. I didn't take them.
You didn't take those tests.
Nah.
Did they offer them, or is it an Indian thing?
No, I think you take them to get into graduate school.
Wow.
So he was #1. He scored 2350 out of 2400. #1 in Maharashtra. That's like
In Columbia
come on,
County?
man. That's bigger than Columbia County.
It's bigger than Columbia County.
It's like way bigger. Yeah. So anyway, what an interview. Please go back and listen to yesterday's interview with
Yeah, I figured if he's that smart and he believes in all this stuff, I can believe in it.
yeah.
He's rational. He's incredibly rational.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Okay, let's go
Text
back
2.
in. Text 2. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and the moon was impaired in all the planets. And the demigods of various planets being disturbed by the force asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is the expansion of darkness in all directions?
What's going on?
The fortunate demigod said, O great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well and which is causing us anxiety. Because the influence of time cannot touch you, there is nothing unmanifest before you. Of the demigods, sustainer of the universe, head jewel of the demigods and other planets, you know the intentions of the living entities in both the spiritual and the material world. So they're looking at Brahma as their source, who he is.
Yeah.
And because he's their source, he's sort of like their god to them.
Yeah.
He's like above the regular demigods. He's the origin. He is their god in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and they're saying like, we need someone to explain what's going on, and you've got all the qualifications.
Mm.
You know the intentions of all living entities. That's got something to do with this, right?
Yeah.
You know.
O god of the demigods, sustainer of the universe, head jewel of all the demigods and other planets, you know the intentions of all living entities in both spiritual and material worlds. O original source of strength and scientific knowledge, all obeisances unto you. You have accepted the differentiated mode of passion from the personality of Godhead. With the help of the external energy, you are born of the unmanifested source. All obeisances to you. So they're just offering prayers to Brahma.
Yeah,
now.
you're on a different level than we are. You know, we're born in a more ordinary way. You manifested in some special way. You're like a god to us.
How do you say it? Brahma or Brahma?
Brahma.
Brahma.
It's got a long A on the end.
Brahma. How do you say Raghu? Raghu or Raghu?
Raghu?
Everybody calls me one or the other. Raghu. Hey, Raghu. What's up? Hey, Raghu.
I think it says Raghu, but Raghava. I think it's a long A, right? Someone could look that up.
Raghu. Someone tell me how to say my name, please.
Say my name.
Say my name.
That's correctly.
Because I can't say it. I just don't know it. Okay. Oh, Lord of the planets.
I'm looking it up.
Monday.
Let's get your name straight.
Mara. Oh, Lord of all the planets. Oh, original strength of original strength of the scientific knowledge. All obeisances to you. I just read that. Excuse me. Text 6. Oh, Lord of all the planets. Oh, Lord, all these planets exist within yourself, and all living entities are generated from you. Therefore, you are the cause of the universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service.
Oh, good news. It's Raghu. We're saying it right.
Oh, good.
It's a short A. Yeah.
Okay. There is no defeat. There is no defeat in this material world for persons who control the mind and senses by controlling the breathing process and who are therefore experienced, mature mystics. This is because by such perfection in yoga, they have attained your mercy. All the living entities within the universe are conducted by the Vedic directions, as a bull is directed by the rope attached to its nose. Mm. No one can violate the rules laid down in the Vedic literatures. To the chief person who has contributed the Vedas, we offer our respect.
Interesting verse, right?
Yeah.
In other words, there's laws here, and you're the one that kind of gets them all. You're probably largely responsible for their development, or at least for their manifestation. So, and it's something that you just can't get away from. They kind of recognize that, right? They recognize that it's not just some big random free for all, but that there's laws that are in operation here, right?
Sure.
That our behavior, it works under the jurisdiction of those laws.
Sure, there are laws for us to be happy. There's laws for us to be happy. You can ignore those laws. You can break those laws, but you don't really. The laws are there. We just break ourselves
against the law.
Against the law.
You fight the law, but the law ultimately wins.
Yeah, write that one down, Mara. I fought the law, but the law won.
Yeah.
Could be something. Lord Brahma said. Oh, I'm sorry.
What text are we on?
I'm lost. 7.
Something about respect.
There's no defeat.
Text 9 now.
Did we do text 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Text 9. The demigods prayed to Brahma. Please look upon us mercifully, for we have fallen into a miserable condition. Because of the darkness, all our work has been suspended.
It's miserable Monday around here.
Miserable. As fuel overloads a fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe.
Okay, so they're kind of desperate here.
Yeah.
Now we go back to sage level 3. We were on sage level 4 right there. We're going back.
Here's the narrator. Maitreya said, thus, Lord Brahma, who is understood by transcendental vibration, tried to satisfy the demigods, being pleased with their words of prayer.
Okay,
Lord Brahma said,
back down to stage level 4.
Okay, Now Brahma is saying, my 4 sons, Shanaka, Shanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumar, who were born from my mind, are your predecessors. They're your older brothers. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire.
Okay,
Just
so
wandering around.
They came. The demigods came to Brahma and said, "We've got a big problem going on here. It's dark. We can't do our work. We're trying to figure out, what can be done about this circumstance. We need
There's
your
some
help."
fear, perhaps.
So there's some fear,
demons
confusion.
taking birth.
Yeah, and Brahma says, "Well, let me tell you a story. Right? Sit down for a second, and I got to explain something to you." And he's going back in history.
All
So
right.
this is, what's going on with the in Diti's womb here. Well, let me tell you the backstory about what's going on. And it starts with my sons. They were traveling all around, and they started to approach the spiritual sky, Vaikuntha.
Okay. Text 13. After thus traveling all over the universe, they entered into the spiritual sky, for they were freed from the material contamination. So they could just go in and out like that. They had this all access pass, VIP pass. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas, which are the residents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all material planets.
Okay, so this chapter is entitled, what was it? The Kingdom of God?
Yeah.
Description of the Kingdom of God. So now we're going to hear that description. So Brahma, in telling the story about how his sons cursed the guardians of the gates of the spiritual realm, we're going to hear a description of the spiritual realm for the first time.
The
in the
edge of my
Bhagavatam.
seat.
All right.
In the Vaikuntha planets, all the residents are similar in form to the personality of Godhead. They all
Interesting.
engage in bhakti to the Lord without the desires for sense gratification.
This is right there. Boom.
You
There's the
start
first-
to look like the Supreme Lord.
There's that. Yeah.
A four-armed Mara floating around.
It says, well, yeah, we're
Her
here now.
cooking, her cooking is magnified. She can do double the work.
But when we use the word Vaikuntha, which literally means
Mara?
Without anxiety.
free from anxiety, no anxiety.
Love that, don't you?
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
But why? Well, the clue is given right here. They all engage in devotional service to the Lord without desires for sense gratification. It's our desires to separate ourselves from that root of existence that bring upon us the anxieties. But they're all operating fully plugged in, connected to that root, right? Full connection. So when we use the word Vaikuntha, it's kind of like it's speaking about the entire spiritual realm wherein anxiety is not there. And we often, when we speak of the spiritual realm, we speak of Goloka, which is one part of that spiritual realm where Krishna is present as a boy, right? That form of Krishna, sweet baby Krishna, exists there with very intimate relationships. And he's got his form of Krishna, and everyone else has their own individual form that they relate to him with. But in the Vaikuntha planets, which is the broader area, much of it is not Krishna's present on the different planets there, but Vishnu is present in a four-armed form. And everyone else there also has a similar looking form, like a four-armed form. Interesting, right?
Very interesting.
Okay.
All right.
And I should mention, and the mood there is love for God, but it's love mixed more with reverence, more like when we think of how people think of God. God is great, and but in Goloka, where there's that intimate relationship with Krishna in his original form, it's the mood is more intimate kind of love. So you kind of forget this is God.
Okay. Text.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
All right, next. No, this is valuable stuff.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about the Madhavas. Okay.
You're still upset about the Madhava rock
I'm
band.
not upset, just thinking about it. Just thinking about what they're thinking.
What are they thinking?
What are they thinking?
They're not thinking about us at all.
They're not thinking. They're not thinking. Isn't that interesting?
They forgot about us
We're
already.
thinking everybody's thinking about us, and what are they thinking about us? They probably think this. They're probably like, yeah, no way. They're probably not even thinking about it.
They didn't even read that letter. It's just some secretary handled it.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me that. Some new Bhakta.
We are very sorry.
They're Bhakta Justin. And like Bhakta,
But they've got like lots of Bhakta Justins.
yeah,
they've got,
millions,
like-
millions.
They
Bhakta
got the-
Jivans. Bhakta Jivan, just write them back. Tell them we're busy. Okay, sorry. We appreciate you so much. We are very busy.
Maybe we got to get all of our people to sign a petition and send it to them, saying we
The
want. you in
Jivan
this
will be like,
message.
I'm sorry, this is nothing. I've been direct orders from the Madhava's rock band not to
We
accept
got
your
3,000 emails coming, and Bhakti Jivan's just shutting them all down.
Bhakta Jivan is very, very. Oh, Krishna. Shouldn't bother me. Why is this bothering me? What number are we on? I'm lost. Get me back into the Bhagavatam. This is ridiculous.
We're on text 15. We're hearing about the
In the Vaikuntha
resonance of
planets
the
is the
spiritual world, where there's no anxiety.
In the Vaikuntha planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original and who can be understood through the Vedic literature. He is
He's
full
the
of
original
uncontaminated.
person. He's the original person. That's an important word not to skip through.
Oh, he is the original.
You're not
person.
wearing your glasses today. That's the problem.
No.
Start it over
Yes.
again. Text 15.
In the Vaikuntha planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original person
The Adipurusha.
and who is understood through the Vedic literature. He is full of the uncontaminated mode of goodness, with no place for passion and ignorance. He contributes religious progress for the devotees. What does that mean? He contributes.
He contributes religious progress.
I don't know.
It's an
In
interesting
the-
phrase.
Yeah, he contributes religious progress.
But it's interesting here that it's mentioned that he's like the original person. And which reminds me of the whole thing I think is worth bringing up at this point is like in the Bhagavad Gita, what we hear is that the world that we're moving around in is kind of a reflection of the spiritual realm, which we're hearing a description of right now, right? And it gives this example, this metaphor of a banyan tree, and the banyan tree's reflection, right? You with me?
Yep.
So in the first few texts, first few verses of the 15th chapter, let me pull them up. You ready?
I love the 15th chapter. I read it yesterday in my
good.
class at the Sangha Center of Yoga in Beaver, Pennsylvania.
The whole chapter?
Nah, a couple good verses,
Just
15:7.
Okay. Oh yeah. So this is just prior to that. It is said, text 1, it is said that there's an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. And then here's text 3 and 4. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. Okay, so it's saying that this tree, when it says that its roots are going up, and that its branches are going down, it means that it's upside down. Right? It's like a reflection. Like you see a tree reflected
In a
on,
pond.
like on a pond. Yeah, when you look at the reflection, it looks like the bottom is up and the top is down. So it's a way of indicating that this world is like a reflection. It says the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. In other words, what's being reflected, we don't see. We see this world. We don't get that this world is upside down. And we don't see the spiritual realm, which is what's being reflected. So the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, right? We don't know the edge of the universe. We have no idea, right? Or where its foundation is, that spiritual realm. It's beyond us. It's beyond the perception of our senses. But what do you do? How do you deal with your circumstance? It says, but with determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree, the reflection, right? With the weapon of detachment. We need to detach. The idea is that there's fruits on the tree, right? And you're going around, you're trying to taste them, right? That's what we're doing. We're moving around, and I think. Why do you think they use the example of a banyan tree specifically, Raghunath?
Well, because it's incredibly it's an overwhelming tree with so many branches going in different
Yeah.
directions. They drop down to the earth, they shoot back up and sprout, they expand. It makes
Yeah.
little caves and crevices. It gives a type of fig, perhaps. because of that. Maybe
Got a
because
fruit,
of
yeah.
that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's because it's like a big maze. You can get lost in one of these.
Yeah, material world is like a massive banyan tree.
Yeah. The largest banyan tree on Earth, do you know where it is?
Calcutta.
Specifically? It's in the
More
Acharya.
specific than Calcutta, you want to block?
Well, it's
Come
a big,
on.
it's a big place. The largest banyan tree in the world is found in the Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose Botanical Garden.
You thought I was going to say that.
Well, I don't know. You might have known it was, you might have, I don't know. You never did any research on this, huh? It is known as the Great Banyan Tree. And this massive form of life is estimated to be at least 250 years old. Its exact age is unknown. But it must be much older than that because
It's a
it
whole
says
city block.
this is what it says here. As one of the widest trees on Earth, in terms of its area of canopy, it covers 4 acres, 16,187 square meters of land, and continues to grow every year.
I hope so.
If it says if one were to see this tree from a distance, they would assume that it's a small forest. However, what looks like individual trees is really just this one great big banyan tree's roots, which are spread out over it.
You
which
know
are
what?
estimated to number around 3,000.
I think I'm going to go, we're going to go to, we're flying into Calcutta, I think, on my next trip to India. So maybe
You want to go see this tree?
Go see the banyan tree.
Well, it says that some time ago they built a road around it so that you could kind of drive around the whole thing, but
And
it
it
just
took
kept
over the
growing.
road?
And yeah, now it's like this tunnel, and you drive around in this tunnel within the tree.
Cool.
Right. So we're in this upside down banyan tree, and we're trying to taste the fruits, and we're lost in the tree. Right. That's our experience in the material world. We become lost in it. So it's saying with the weapon of detachment, you cut it down. Right. So it says, but with determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. That's talking about the spiritual realm, right? And
Sure.
there, surrender unto that supreme personality Godhead. And it uses the term the Adi Purusha, the original person, right? From whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. So there's always the person behind it, right? And so that's what we're hearing about here.
So the tree represents our gross attachments and our sense gratification in this world as well, correct?
Well, it represents the world, yeah.
And also it's the as it gets more and more into the refined branches and the leaves, it's like subtle sense gratification. Is that true? Huh? Like
I
the
mean,
Vedic
yes,
hymns?
why not? Yeah, I mean, that
Yeah.
fits the metaphor.
Sometimes there's things of the material world that they seem practically spiritual, but they're just subtly material. It's like the fine, thin twig ends of the branch. Then there's the gross stuff of the material world, the big trunk. The material. We got to cut it all down with the weapon of detachment. Chop it.
Right. Chop it down. Here's what Prabhupada wrote in the commentary to that first text, 15.1.
Yeah.
He says the entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. The root of this material existence grows upward. This means that it begins from the total material substance, from the topmost planet in the universe. From there, the whole universe is expanded, with so many branches representing the various planetary systems. The fruits represent the results of the living entity's activities, our karma, right? Or namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Now Prabhupada says, now there is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upward.
Right.
But there is such a thing.
Right.
He says that tree can be found beside a reservoir of water. We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and the roots up. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated. This is profound. You ready?
Yep.
The reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as a tree's reflection is situated on water. Desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study, that's jnana, right?
Mm.
Then they can cut off their relationship with it. So why do I see why am I in illusion?
Wow.
It's because of my desire. The illusion is follows that, right? It's because of that. And it's through knowledge, the opposite of illusion, that the illusion disappears and we see reality. Interesting,
Wow.
right?
It's
He
super
goes on.
interesting.
Yeah, he goes on. He says this tree, being the reflection of the real tree, is an exact replica. Now, this is interesting, right? So, in other words, what we see here in this world, we'll see in the original world, right? This tree being the reflection of the real world is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world. The material world is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So the spiritual world must have the same variegatedness, but in reality.
It's quite amazing. Everything here is a perverse reflection of the spiritual realm.
Like a warped reflection, right?
You can't fully embrace it. It's so true. I fully get this.
It makes so much sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The falling in love with a body that's temporary. It's a reflection of a spiritual body, right? We're falling in love with things that you can't fully grasp or hold on to. Everything's sort of melting in our hands.
Well, that's part of it too, right? Reflections are temporary, and Prabhupada's going to get into that here.
Like
right?
we have such an innate desire for something eternal and lasting, yet we're in a material world that's completely temporary and melting. We've been set up. We've been set up by our desires. And I want to blame the world for. I want to blame why. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why? Because you chose desire over reality.
It's think of this. Like, say you're standing on a sidewalk in a city.
Yeah.
And you're standing in front of like a storefront that's like all windows, right? So there's a reflection there.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the window. Right, so you're seeing a reflection, and you can see in the window that behind you, let's say there's like whatever you want to call it. Let's say there's a dog, right?
Yeah.
So you see the reflection of that dog. Now, what do you know? You're not looking at the dog, right? You're looking at the window.
Yeah.
But what do you know?
You know there's a dog behind you.
You know there's a dog behind you, right? Even though you can't see that dog behind you, but you're seeing the reflection. So reflection doesn't exist without the reality existing.
Right.
So if you're seeing a dog reflected in the window, that there's got to be a real dog.
Right. So I'm trying to pet the window dog. That's what's going on.
That's what you're doing.
I'm trying to embrace the window dog.
Yeah, and it's not the same.
It's not the same. The dog can even bark at me, but it's not. I'm not going to be able to fully embrace that dog.
But now
and then in the reflection, there's a guy with a bag of vegan donuts, just hanging out with a big plate of vegan donuts. And so I reach into the glass and try to enjoy that vegan donut.
Right.
And it's just not satiating me because I can't fully embrace it.
Okay, so this is real important. So you're trying to pet the dog.
Then comes Mara with the prasadam bagels, but she's the Jewish bagel from Ben and Esther's, but she's reality because they're offered to Lord Vishnu. So she
you
actually
have to turn around to see her, though.
Yeah, I got to turn around there. Have a bagel, Raghu.
Yeah, no, but let's cut off that analogy at the dog. What do you say? The dog and the vegan donuts, right? You
know what? The real if you really want to tease out that analogy, she's actually inside the store with bagels, like the pure. You know why? Because the pure devotee comes into the world of illusion and enters with reality, right? And offers you, the connection to to reality. So she comes with prasadam in the reflection.
Okay, but let's still set that aside for now, and let's work on what we had earlier.
Okay, I wanted more than okay. I want to be like, yes, yeah, you're on it today, right?
Well, it's complicated. It's complicated that way. But so now you're here. You're trying to taste that vegan donut, but you're grabbing the window. You're touching the window, and it's not satisfying. Yeah. And you've been trying to pet the dog all day, and it's not working. and you've been trying to eat the vegan donut all day, and that's not working, and you get frustrated, right? And now Raghunath says, this, I get it. This is an illusion. This isn't real. It looks like a vegan donut, but it's not a vegan donut. And it's just causing me frustration.
Not only that, not only can the vegan donut not satisfy me because I can't quite grasp it, the dog is a vicious dog and wants to kill
now
me.
you see,
But listen to this. Listen to this.
You're
I'm
mixing up the
fearing the
metaphors.
dog because I'm scared of dogs. So I'm
Okay.
fearing that dog.
All right.
But the
You're fearing
fear
it.
is not based in reality because it's a reflection. The dog's barking
Okay.
at something else. I think he's barking at me. Get it?
Okay. That's
So
fair
we
enough.
live in this world of
But that dog actually may be
desire.
barking at you and may come after you.
We will live
All
in this
right,
world
we
of
won't go-
desire and of hate, and they're both not based in reality. I'm living with all this anxiety in this world. Nothing can harm me. I'm gonna live to it. I don't die.
Gotcha. Okay, but I'm gonna go back again now. I'm just trying to keep this metaphor simple. Okay.
It's too late for that, but yeah, go on.
So you're trying to taste the vegan donut. You're trying to pet the dog, and it's bringing you frustration, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying this is not what I'm meant for. This is illusory. And I'm living a world of frustration here. Reality must have no dog and no vegan donut. You're just free, because illusion means you want to enjoy that thing, but it actually doesn't exist. And you just go crazy trying to taste it. Liberation, mukti, freedom, is when you just realize there is no donut, there is no dog. We're all one. There's just this divine light. But what the Gita is saying here is no, that's not the case. The fact that you see the reflection means that there is a real dog, that there is a real donut, right? But you're trying to enjoy the illusory one.
Yes.
You have to turn back to the real one.
Yes.
Right. So that's going to play out a little bit here in this commentary too. So Prabhupada writes again, this tree being the reflection of the real tree is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world. The material world is the perverted reflection. And so every reflection is in a sense perverted, right? They're all backward. He says, so the spiritual world must have the same variegatedness, but in reality. There's donuts there. There's dogs there, right? The Prakriti, the material energy, is the external energy of the Supreme Lord, and the Purusha is the Supreme Lord himself. And that is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Since this manifestation is material, it is temporary. A reflection is temporary, for it is sometimes seen and sometimes not seen. But the original from whence the reflection is reflected is eternal. The material reflection of the real world has to be cut off. When it is said that a person knows the Vedas, it is assumed that they know how to cut off attachment to this material world. If one knows that process, they actually know the Vedas. One who is attracted by the ritualistic formula of the Vedas is attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the tree. They do not...
Go on.
Right?
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. Go on.
They don't exactly know the purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas is disclosed by the personality of God himself, is to cut down this reflected tree and to attain the real tree of the spiritual world.
I wonder if this is where Plato got the analogy of the cave.
It's a very similar thing.
You know
right?
that? Plato begins by having Socrates ask Locon to imagine a cave.
Yeah. I'm impressed when you start to drop this Greek philosophy, Raghunath. You seem to study the Greeks' civilization quite a bit. You have an interest in this. Please continue.
To imagine a cave where people have been imprisoned from childhood but not from birth. These prisoners are chained so that their legs and necks are fixed, forcing them to gaze at the wall in front of them and not to look around the cave. They can't look at each other or themselves. Behind the prisoners is a fire, and between the fire, or the
Source of light, right?
between the fire and the prisoners is a raised walkway with a low wall, behind which people walk carrying objects or puppets of men and other living things. The people walk behind the wall so their bodies do not cast shadows. The people walk behind the wall so their bodies do not cast shadows for the prisoners to see, but the objects they carry do.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's like a
The
like
prisoners
a,
cannot see any of what is happening behind them. They are only able to see the shadows cast upon the cave wall in front of them. The sounds of the people talking echo off the walls, and the prisoners believe that these sounds come from the shadows. Socrates suggests that the shadows are reality for the prisoners because they have never, ever seen anything else. They do not realize that what they see are shadows of objects in front of a fire, much less that these objects are inspired by real things outside the cave, which they also do not see. The fire or the human-made light and the puppets used to make the shadows are done by artists. Plato, however, indicates that the fire is also the political doctrine that is taught in the nation state. The artist uses light and shadows to teach the dominant doctrines of time and place. Interesting.
It's a very similar conception and likely influenced.
Likely influence.
Yeah, from the Bhagavad Gita. All right. Shall we get back into it? We got a few more minutes.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're on text 16.
In those Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests, which are very auspicious. Isn't that amazing? There's forests in the Vaikuntha planets.
That's the point. If we
In
see
those
here,
forests,
you see it there.
trees are desire trees. And in all seasons, they are filled with flowers and fruits because everything in Vaikuntha planets is spiritual and personal. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhava flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. What does that mean there?
What?
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
They deride
What's being said there?
while singing the glories of the Lord.
Because they're so absorbed in the bliss and tasting the bliss of glorifying God. Right.
That it's even better than the beautiful Madhava flowers.
The situation there is just so beautiful.
So ideal.
Right.
I got it now.
Yeah, but their bliss, their spiritual bliss is just like so
Even more
profound that
Okay, text 18. When the king of the bees hums, the king of the bees, what about the queen of the bees? When the king of the bees hums in a high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord, there's a temporary lull in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chakravaka, the swan, the parrot, the partridge, and the peacock. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. Although flowering plants like the mandara, kunda, kurabaka, urpala, champak, arna, punaga, nagakshara, bakula, lily, and the parijata are all full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi. For Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. Oh my God, isn't that cool?
we need Guranga Singha right here to break into a rap like glorifying Tulsi. Right?
With
Like that's his
GKD,
cue.
With Govinda Krishna Das.
Yeah, that's his cue right there. I think we're out of time, Rogu.
Well, that's okay. All right.
Any takeaways?
What a day today. What a day. On Marvelous Monday, people. Thank you for joining us. And if you like what we're doing, where's our music? We got to ask.
Well, I thought we were going to get takeaways.
Takeaways. What's our takeaway, Mara?
All right. Everyone's got a backstory. We break ourselves against the law.
Oh, wait. Okay, let's ingest these. We break ourselves against can't break the law. You can break yourself against the law.
Knowledge and detachment lead us out of the banyan tree maze. It's a little long for tattoo.
A little long for an
Illusion follows desire.
illusion follows desire.
Everything is a warped reflection of the spiritual world. And stop choosing desire over reality.
I got another one too.
What you
We've
got?
been set up by our desires.
Mm.
Been set up. I got one too. You know the nadis, part of the body?
Channels of energy.
Naughty by nature. Naughty by nature.
You just,
You like that?
but that didn't relate to anything we've been talking about. you just
It was
like
a
that?
T-shirt they made at the Sangha Center. I thought was really cool. Naughty by nature.
Okay.
Thought you'd enjoy that, Kaustubha.
It's nice.
All right,
I
Mara's got
enjoyed it.
allergies. Good luck with your allergies, Mara.
Thanks. Are we doing Sweet Baby Krishna tonight?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it no matter where I am. Even if I'm driving, I'm gonna pull over and do it. We'll figure it out. 8:30 tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us. If you like what we're doing here, patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. You can support what we're doing. We appreciate it. And if you're part of that Patreon party, you can come to Sweet Baby Krishna tonight. We do those. We're in a little marathon. We're gonna do it at least Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at least. What do you think
Look at
about that?
Akiko there in front of the. I don't think she even knows it, but she's right in front of that poster on the subway, and she looks just like the poster.
We're going to try to have a Wisdom of the Sages picnic this week, so make sure you tune in and check in New York City. And what else we got to say? Well, it's Monday, so good luck with your Makeover Mondays. You can post them on the Discord chat thread if you want to give some accountability to your community. Just say, hey, it's Makeover Monday. I'm going to work on my mantras. I'm going to work on my rising early. I'm going to work on my diet. I'm going to work on my health. It's a makeover. Start over today. If you like what we're doing, take a little photo of it. Something we said, some wisdom nugget that popped out. Share it. Tag us. We'll reshare it and tag you. And let's spread this love around. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hands up in the air. Start clapping. Start moving your body in ways it doesn't usually move at 5 a.m. Look at this. I'm snake-like.